here a little bit of mindset coaching. Let's start off. Let's start off at the beginning today. Let's see how far we get. We definitely need to talk about nutrition for a second. I'm sure we've got to do that first off, straight off. Let's do a little nutrition talk, and then let's move into a little bit of board work today. I'm stretching myself a little bit. I want to get this recorded today if I can. Just a little bit of content, a little bit of information sharing. First, let's talk a little bit about this. I'm talking about naturally healing the body. This is what I've done over the last 10 years. I've learned about this over the last 10 years. This is what I've come to learn is really just a very simple science. It's not complicated at all. We've been led to believe that our health is something complicated and something that we can't manage without some other type of professional. But the truth is, we have the power and the strength and the ability to manage our health ourselves. We just need to have a certain type of awareness. We just need to kind of believe in ourselves. We need to learn our own self, our own frequency and energy, and how to adjust it. We can adjust our energy with our thoughts and our words. Accountability. This has been the biggest thing for me, is living by your thoughts and your words. What you think and say, it's integrity, right? What you think and say, you speak over yourself. You make yourself accountable to other people that you love, to your family, to your friends, or anyone else that will listen or pay attention to you. You make yourself accountable to others that you love, you loving yourself and sharing your loving energy and intention to and for someone else. So you're modeling something. You're modeling something. You're giving something. This is what life is about, giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. If you change what you give to your world, you change what you get from your world. This is how it works, right? If you want to get something different out of life, then you've got to give something different to your life. So I like to, change what I'm giving in order to find myself receiving some more in my life. It's getting into a flow, an energetic interaction, a circle of life. This is how the life works. And natural health works just like this. And we can become naturally healthy just like this by our thoughts, our words, and our actions, by our habits and our behaviors, by the things that we think and say and do. So I can get healthy, first of all, just by thinking and saying and doing that. I have to believe it in my mind. So I have to repeat it to myself until I believe it, because we've kind of been brainwashed out of it. We've sort of forgotten it, is what's happened. And we need to be reminded of it. And we need to speak it over ourselves. I believe in myself. I believe in my own power. I believe in my own power to heal myself. So it's to think it and say it, to make yourself accountable, to put yourself out there, make yourself vulnerable. You can do it with anyone. It doesn't matter who you want to do it with. You don't have to do it this way like I do it. You can do it in your own way, but you have to make yourself accountable to someone. If you want help with that, reach out to me if you need help with that. You need to change your thoughts and words, your beliefs. You need to repetitively practice, because it's the repetition of thought and word and action that creates a change in your mindset, in your own thoughts and words, right? But by repetitively thinking and saying and doing these things get internalized into yourself. They become you. They become you by practice, right? Through practice and rehearsal of these words. The mindset, changing the thoughts and words and affirmations practice. Practicing speaking to yourself, recording it, watching it back, or making doing it live like this, or doing it with someone that you care about, or share it with someone else. Just practicing for yourself. This is the first time I've done this. So, it just comes from doing it on a piece of paper and just kind of thinking it out in your mind, just reading about it and then thinking about it, explaining it to yourself in your mind on a piece of paper, getting a vision of what it is you're working on, you're learning. This is how you come to believe in yourself. You start to write down who you want to be. You start getting a vision and making it put it on a piece of paper. I want to be, get a vision of who you want to be, what you want to do. You got to get some goals. I want to be a husband. I want to be a coach. I want to be a father. I want to be successful. I want to go on a holiday. I want to help people. I want to spend loving, caring time with my family. I want to give back to my society. Thinking and saying, writing them down, then these things become the thoughts that are in your mind. You get your reason why you're doing things. What's your reason? You got to kind of know why it's happening. You got to align yourself, your thoughts, your words, and your actions with your goal. Is it your goal to be happy, healthy, and well? Then what are you doing to get happy, healthy, and well? What are the action steps to happy, healthy, and wellness for you? What are your action steps for happy, healthy, and well? What are they? Right? Do you want to be happy, healthy, and well? What are you doing to make that happen? What are your daily, weekly action steps? Right? I say an affirmations practice is an awesome one. I say a movement practice is an awesome one. I say a meditation practice is an awesome one. I say a healthy water drinking practice, a hydrogen-rich water drinking practice is a healthy, natural practice that's in alignment with your natural health goals. A hydrogen-rich water practice. Fruit and vegetable eating practice most of the time. That's my 4-day detox. I say try to eat fruits and vegetables most of the time. You don't need to do it all of the time, but most of the time. You want to trend in that way. We have to overcome the gluttony, myself included. We all have to overcome it. We've all learned gluttony in different aspects of our life, maybe with food, maybe with drink, maybe with coffee, maybe with smoke, maybe with sex, maybe with shopping, maybe with screens, movie, TV, interaction with others, maybe with Facebook. Where have we gotten addicted, obsessed? Where are we being glutton in our life? And where are we being lethargic in our life? Are we not moving? Are we not eating healthy? Are we not stretching ourselves? We all have vices. Our vices are blocked or trapped or low frequency energy. Trapped trauma. We all have trauma in our bodies. We've all had trauma in our lives. And in order to heal it, we need to invite it up and allow it to leave. We've got to stretch it out, move it out, breathe it out, speak it out, and allow it to come out. We've got to lift up our energy. We lift up our energy by our thoughts and our words and our actions, movements and breath and thoughts and words and actions. Foods need to move towards hydrogen-rich foods, alive foods, sun-kissed foods, foods that were cooked by the sun, foods that are still alive, fruits and vegetables, non-cooked foods, fruits and vegetables, juices from fruits and vegetables, green juices, cold pressed juices, raw juices, distilled waters, specifically hydrogen-rich waters. Hydrogen-rich waters. Clean water, live water. And emptiness. Daily, getting empty every day and practicing emptiness. It's a skill to practice eating less. Because if we want to be fit and healthy, we have to go against the gluttony. Gluttony is too much of things. We need to learn less. This is learned in the fast. Fasting. A fasting lifestyle. We need to adapt the fasting lifestyle. We need to eat in as small a window as possible. We need to learn to eat in a smaller eating window. And this goes up and down, up and down, up and down as we get better at it. And we fall back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, in and out of our addictions to food and substance and things and sex and shopping and all of the rest. We fall in and out of our addictions until we come out of it more and more and more and more. Until it becomes not an addiction anymore, it doesn't control us anymore, it becomes more of a choice. This can happen with practice over time. This happens in all aspects of our life. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. And I'm not saying I don't screw up and I don't fall back into my ways as well too. I think we all do, back and forth, back and forth. This is how it goes. And fasting is the practice to stop and start, stop and start. But it's not only always to deprive yourself, and that's why I've built it this way, that it goes 4 days we practice, and then a couple of days we relax. And then we practice, and then we relax. And then we practice, and then we relax. And you can practice, the first 4 days of the week for a year, and then you can practice the next the back end for a month or 3 months or 6 months or a year. You can switch it around. It doesn't have to get too fixed on one thing, but I set it up in a Monday to Thursday, trying to work on our fasting, trying to work on our raw foods, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, holidays, weekends, fun, relax, family. That time we could have some more cooked and processed foods then. This is how we break the bad habit of cooked and processed foods, of hydrogen-depleted foods. Hydrogen-depleted foods. We need oxygen-rich, hydrogen-rich foods. Oxygen-rich, hydrogen-rich foods. We need micronutrient-rich foods. And we need carbohydrate-rich foods. Carbohydrates. But they need to be simple carbohydrates. Fructose is the best energy for the body because it doesn't need insulin to enter into the cell. And this is the most unique thing about it, is it enters into the cell without insulin. So even if the blood sugar goes up and insulin goes up, don't worry, it will come back down. Don't worry about your blood sugar going up. It will come back down on its own. It doesn't need insulin. So you don't need to take insulin to drop your blood sugar. Don't worry about that. Your blood sugar problems will all correct as you start to eat more live, raw fructose. Fructose. We need hydrogen-rich fruits and vegetables, elements, items in our bodies and lives. And we need oxygen-rich, oxygenation, alkalization, alkalinity. We need to balance the energy, the plus and minus, the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine within ourselves. The plus and the minus, the yin and the yang. The pH, the acidity within the body, alkalinity and acidity, the balance between toxicity and acidity and alkalinity, acidity and alkalinity. We need to balance the acids in the body. We need to balance the breath. It's balanced with the breath, the in and out breath. We need to practice mindfulness. We need to practice thoughts and words. We need to practice movements, and we need to change our foods. We need to change our intentions. We need to change our thoughts and our words.
I needed to. Maybe I should talk in I better than we. Maybe that's what I'm just learning right now. I had to learn to change my thoughts and words to heal my body and life. Let's say it that way, rather than we need to or you need to. I needed to do this to heal myself over the last 10 years. I needed to learn how to do these things over the last 10 years in order to fix, change, and heal my life. This is what I had to do. This is what I had to learn. Now, I wanted to introduce some new ideas today. I've talked about the nutrition, we've talked about the movement, we've just done an hour of exercise and breath work and mindfulness and meditation. We've done it all. I want to talk about something here today. I've got 30 minutes. Let's try to do a 30-minute little chit chat, a little introduction to something new. I'm trying to teach something here. I want to get an idea across, and I'm trying my best to pull this out of myself. And how can I explain to you best? Because what happens, I think, is that we've got tons of different people on this planet, and some short, some tall, some black, some white, some live here, some live there. Wherever you sit or stand, culture or sex, or where you live, latitude, longitude on the planet affects how the world looks. When you look from this place at this time, the light looks different and the shadows are always changing in length. Depending from where you're sitting or standing, you could stand in one place and the shadows will be over you, and then with a little bit of time, the shadow will move. Just in time, shadows heal, move. Darkness passes just with time alone. We can always move over or heal anything with time. As long as over time, we are choosing the right thoughts and words as we breathe over time. If we're choosing the right thoughts and words as we breathe over time, not one time, but over time consistently, that's the way you think. You've taken on a new belief. It's like you've got some faith in it. How does this happen when we're all different? Short, tall, standing here, standing there, man, woman, black, white, with different ideas and understanding and seeing the world in a different way. How does it happen? I want to try to talk about that, and I want to try to make some sense over why, it's so hard for us to communicate, and why some ideas just keep getting lost and not understood. One big problem here is that in the home, we all got different things. In our homes, we all got different things. We all received different messages. In some homes, people talked about religion. Some people talked about God. Some people talked about spirituality. Some people didn't even mention it and didn't want to talk to their kids or their families about it. And I'm not saying any one of them is right or wrong. I'm just saying that there's both. And then there's everything in between. And in some homes, people learned nothing. And then maybe they when they moved out and they went into school, then they learned about science. And then, they learned about, from their friends, and they heard this and they heard that along the way when they were teenagers and 20s. And they learned when they learned as teenagers in science in grade 12, you learned about the Big Bang Theory, maybe. Science, right? This is science, the God of science. This is how science started. This is how the world started with science, right? The universe was nothing. There was nothing. And the universe, that nothing, coalesced into something. How? It coalesced into something, I don't know, and then exploded. And That's the science. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it at all. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't tell you how. Nobody can tell you how. It happened 20 billion years ago, 30 billion years ago. Nobody knows. They can estimate 11 billion. 11 billion this time? How do you know how many times that's happened? I don't know. Nobody does. Nobody does. And anyone that tries to tell you that they do, they're lying to you. So that's what science is built on. So I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I'm a scientist, but I'm just telling you, like, there's a lot about that that's not, like, you talk about science like it's built on, like, foundation. Like, where's the science on that? Where's the science? Okay, I hope I've registered something with someone here. I'm trying to. Over here on some homes, people, believed in God, and they told people that the God was Jesus. The God was Allah. The God was Shakti. There was no God. Buddha says there's no God. There's just the mind. Different ideas, creation stories. There's creation stories. On the first day, there was light. On the second day, there was earth. On the third day, there was the waters, and then the fishes and all the beasts came. And then, the man came, and we took the rib out to make the woman. These are all creation stories. And, how did that happen? It's a beautiful story, but how did that happen? Who knows that? Nobody can tell you that. It's not in the story. It's a bit of a long shot. Is it any more of a long shot than this? But we're going to fight over it, have a war over it, right? Yeah. Does any of it make any sense? There's a killer virus. Then you got, people between, I noticed this one, a lot of people between 20 and 40, and I guess these would be people, obviously, that didn't have a real big attachment to religion, or if they had an attachment to religion, they kind of fall out of it because, those religious stories, there's so many holes in them that you end up falling out of them, and then you end up trying to pick something up that's kind of more current. Right now they got that UFO thing going on right now, that, the Federation and Andromedans and whatever, and it's all being held out by the military. Nobody's letting you know about it, and NASA's a fraud, right? I don't know. I don't know. But some people really, really are attached to that idea that they're downloading messages from Andromeda, and this is just a change, and there's some negative and bad and good energy that's fighting itself out here, and there's some good and evil going on. You got those flat earthers, right? Don't forget about the flat earthers, right? What to say about that? You got the people that want to do like astrology. Or they want to go to a palm reader, or the person that, can speak to the people that are on the other side, so they can connect to the energy. Somehow they can connect to the energy on the other side. But I guess that's like that spirit energy, right? So, there's all these different experiences, and you could be anywhere along this or anywhere in between or a bit of both, like the afterlife, or like people come back from the dead. I mean, and they live again. I don't know. Some people believe in before reincarnation, some people don't. But this is what it is you've got people that come from all of this, right? So these people are talking about those people, and these people are they're talking about those people, and nobody knows for sure. Nobody knows for sure. See that? Nobody knows for sure. But everybody is connected to what they believe. And I'm not picking on anybody's belief. I'm just talking about beliefs. And you can believe in anything you want. And you can change your beliefs too. And what I like to say is, we get baptized or christened in the Christian's faith at 6 months, and we get confirmed at 13. But what I want to say is somewhere between, when we're baptized and christened, we're just doing what our parents made us do. We're just doing what they made us do. Like, did we believe, or like we believed in Jesus because our parents told us to believe in Jesus. And we've lived a life because believing in Jesus, and then that the Allah is bad, because that's what we always thought. And so we saw that was the way you're supposed to live, and it's been good for my life. So why wouldn't it work forever? But you know what? At some point, it may be time to try on a new story, or expand the story in a little bit different way, or just look at it in a little different way, or include it like it's a part of the whole world story. Like Jesus is inside of you. Just change the story. Like, we don't have to go as the story. Maybe we gotta grow ourselves. We all have to grow ourselves. This is how the world's going to change, by new thoughts and words. That's how things change, because we've got a problem in the world, and we're fighting and not accepting one another. And we need to see how much we are actually more closer than we think. So to me, what it comes down to is it comes down to your choice. At some point between 30 and 65, somewhere in there, you stop, this is what I learned, and this is what I've lived, and this is how I've lived. But somewhere along the line, we're starting to say, what do I believe? What do I choose for myself? Somewhere along the line, everybody's got to do this for themselves. This has to happen. And we have to make our own decisions. So this boils down to, I just say it boils down to choice. It boils down to decision. And it boils down to belief. What do you believe? What do you choose to believe? Because whatever you believe is what creates your reality. Whatever you believe will create your reality. So it's choices and decisions of what we want to think and say and believe. Because what we're thinking and saying and believing most of the time, with our most predominant thoughts, are the things that we're thinking, saying, believing most of the time. What we believe creates our outcome, our reality. So if we want to change our outcome, our reality, if we want to change our health, if we want to change our relationships, if we want to change our wellness, if we want to change something for ourselves, if we want to make ourselves better, stronger, leaner, then we need to change our choices, our decisions, our beliefs. We need to alter our reality. We need to have more confidence. We need to believe in something more, or change our beliefs and believe in it more. Think it, say it, and speak it over our life more, so we're more attached energetically and emotionally to it. And that can be whatever you choose it to be, right? You can create whatever reality you believe. Now, that's what I believe. That's first just giving you some facts, but then just tell you, I believe that now that you can change your own reality, right? So I manage my own energy. I am healing myself, right? With my own intention, my thoughts, my ideas, my intentions, and what I choose to hold in my imagination, the vision in my mind, right? So I create my own health. I create my own wellness. This is my thoughts and words that I'm choosing to think and speak over myself today. So let me just tell you, like, I had a science background, and when I hit 40, my health really was really going in the toilet. I was in a lot of physical pain. I was feeling a lot of physical pain in my body. I was, gaining weight. I was 40 pounds heavier. I was gaining weight, and I was feeling a lot of pain. And that pain was kind of showing itself in all aspects of my life. Financially, physically, emotionally, in my relationships. I was bankrupt physically, mentally, emotionally, right? And so in order to fix that, in order to heal that, I need to engage in a physical, mental, and emotional building program. So I got into listening to new thoughts and words about 9 years ago. I listened to everything. I listened to Tony Robbins when I was younger too, but about 9 years ago, I just went to town on anything that Anthony Robbins was saying, anything that Abraham Hicks was saying. I was thinking, saying, and doing those things over and over again daily, like following and listening to them. I can't think of who else thought leaders I was thinking about at the time, following, watching, learning. I've had a lot of various different influences in my life. Motivational speakers definitely have inspired me. I've watched and listened to a lot of them. That's inspired me. That's always been something that's been on my heart. Public speaking is something on my heart. Yes. Listening to other public speakers is on my heart. I'll tell you that I've been influenced by a few things. Definitely in the creation of my program, my 6 Weeks to Success program, which is a natural healing, physical, moving, nutrition, mindset coaching program that I'm pulling together to put into a package that people can download and get all of my stuff, the workouts, the nutrition, and the motivation. I'm trying to put it all into a package here. And I want to tell you that in order to create this program over the last 30 years, I've got some key references that I want to share with you. So if you wanted to look into the stuff that I talk about, this is where you would kind of find it. And the first one I got to say, obviously, is Jesus Christ. I think this has to be the first one that I tell you. That I was a Christian. I was confirmed Christian at 12, 13, 14, around there, going to Sunday school. And I married a Catholic woman, and I got into Catholicism later on in life after 30, but I was Christian before that, and then not really anything until I started going back to church with my wife and the kids in my 30s there. And then, kind of seeing some things in that just were like, that doesn't add up to complete success to me in my mind, that I started to look at alternative ideas. When they started to tell us that the Muslims were all terrorists and they were bad, and the Christians were saying the Muslims were bad guys, I actually started to look into Islam, because I was like, how can it be that these guys are bad? that was like, so like, it just made me like just be disheartened. by my faith. So it rocked me. And I looked into Islam. And then from there, I got inspired to look into the Taoism and Hinduism and Taoism a little bit. And then I found Buddhism, and I fell in love with Buddhism. Because let me tell you, Buddhism is not a religion. It's a thought. It's a way of thinking. It's a principle. It's an alternative principle. And I want to tell you that God reached it out with right and left arms, and he gave information to the west and to the east. He gave information to Buddha and to Christ. Two huge influences in my life and in this program. And you'll see lots of reference to them and in this program. The natural laws, I'm going to put up there next. I mean, lots of things have influenced me, but I got to tell you the natural laws are right up there at the top. 7 natural laws, the Hermetic principles. There are 7. You'll hear a lot of that work inside of my work. It's influenced me a lot. In my mind, the natural laws are what created Buddhism and Christianity and Judaism. It's the natural laws are the backdrop of all religion and spirituality. I think it's the origin. That's my opinion. The Kabbalah. Love the Kabbalah. Love the Kabbalah. It's a beautiful artwork. Let me tell you that Jesus Christ he was not a Christian. Christianity came after Jesus Christ. It was made after Jesus Christ. Right? So understand that when Jesus was here, he wasn't a Christian. Christianity wasn't around. Jesus was a Jew. So that is the first 5 books of the Bible. That's the Torah. That's the Torah. That's what he would have known orally, like he would have been able to say it, because every Jew that was in the church at that time could speak it like they knew it by 13 years of age. So he could speak the Torah. And so one thing that Jesus did, I'll tell you a story that I really remember and really appreciate, was that he went into the synagogue and he threw over all of the rabbis' tables and just destroyed. He said, like this, there was mess in there. He wasn't on side with what the rabbis were teaching of the day, and that's why he became the bad guy. Because he was saying, you guys aren't really following the true spirituality. So they teach the Torah to the people, but the rabbis practice the Kabbalah. Jesus was practicing the Kabbalah. Know this. Know this. It is the success of the Jewish culture. This. Know this. Know about this. It's in this program. And then I'm going to tell you that there were 5, 6 major doctors that I'm going to list here. I mean, there was more, but these are the ones that I'm going to put up for sure. I'm going to put up Dr. Bruce Lipton. You got to get this, Understanding Epigenetics by Dr. Bruce Lipton. You got to understand that. You have to understand that we are not our genes. Like, just because my mother died of cancer at 42, I was 19, just before my 19th birthday, just before I went to university. Just because my mother died of cancer at 19 doesn't mean that I have to get cancer. I'm 49 now. Come up on 49 this summer. It's not genetic. Or, the better, we can affect our genes with our mind, our thought, our word, our action, our behavior. We can turn on or turn off genes. We can make ourselves healthy or well. Okay? Dr. Bruce Lipton. I'm going to put up here, absolutely, this man changed my direction of life. Dr. Arnold Ehret. And you know what? Life transformational idea. We don't get our energy from food at all. We've been told we get our energy from food. The truth is, and food gives us some energy, but it actually steals more energy than anything. We get addicted to the food. You know what? It's not the food that gives us energy. We get energy from the light and the breath. But we've been duped into believing that we get it from the food. We get addicted to the food and we keep wanting and needing more and more and more because we're addicted. We don't want to quit, so we justify it. We've got food addictions. We've got gluttony problems. Dr. Arnold Ehret was the doctor that helped me to see that. Dr. Robert Morris. I credit Dr. Robert Morris for doing a lot of wonderful things for me, understanding the science of detoxification, understanding the science of plus and minus, helping me understand the science of magnetism. Dr. Robert Morris, the lymphatic system. You have to understand the lymphatic system. This is a big part of health. Dr. Sebi, oh my gosh, what to say about this man? The electromagnetic being, the carbohydrate, the chemistry in physics, the mental gymnastics, the passion, the faults, the mistakes that can happen, the dangers involved, the fear. Big. Got to understand who Dr. Sebi was. Dr. Sebi is no longer here, but he passed just not that long ago. I think it was 2016. 2018. Dr. Sebi went to the Supreme Court and brought 70 different uncurable diseases to the Supreme Court, and he brought 70 different people that were cured of those things, that had proof that they went to the doctor, they were diagnosed with those things, and they now no longer had those things. He brought 70 people to the Supreme Court in the 1981 or 1982, and the Supreme Court decided that disease didn't exist, basically, that those diseases can be cured. They're not incurable, and nobody knows that. And I'm going to put up here for the most monumental ideas in freedom of health and natural health. I'm going to put Professor Hilton Otima. And I got to tell you, this led me into breatharianism, and breatharianism, help you to escape or change or create anything you want to in your life. What a practice breatharianism is. Arnold Ehret, also influential for breatharianism. Hilton Hotima, we are not the cell. If we were the cell, then when we die, the cells are still there. We are not the cells. Hilton Hotima, We are the energy coursing through the cell. I've shared some new ideas today. I appreciate you joining in to watch. I will be back this week, all this week, 6 weeks to success. I'm pulling up my new program. I'm letting go of my new stuff. And thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have yourself a super awesome, terrific